as a coach, you're in charge of the environment. You own your environment. If it's in the strength and conditioning room, in the locker room, in the meeting room, or on the ice. That's your environment. And I think we spend too much time evaluating our players, that we think that's the job, telling our player if he's good or bad, if they're executing it the way we want or not. I think we need to build programs or environments where the job is to make every player better a little bit better every day. That's what we're talking about with all our national team coaches within the national team program in Norway. The job, the task is to make sure if we have players a day or 5 days or 3 weeks, they need to be a little bit better every day. That's the job. That's on you as a coach. That's up to you with your staff, making sure that the player's being better. And maybe start evaluating yourself a little bit more than the players. Spending 2 minutes after every practice, talking with the coaching staff, what was it a good practice today? Did we get out what we wanted? And if we think we're so great and we have great practices week in and week out, bring in someone else. Can you please evaluate me as a coach or our coaching staff or our practice, the way we talk to our players? Making sure that you become better, focusing on your performance instead of the player's performance. And hopefully the player's going to be better because they're put in your environment that you're making better every day. I just want to mention the 25, 15, 25 rule. I stole that from my mentor. It's a Swedish former national team tennis coach. Sweden were really, really good in tennis in the 80s and the 90s. He was the national team coach back then. Now he's mentoring me. He's talking about, and Carl was mentioning yesterday about creating chaos in your practice environment. But he's talking about 50% of all the time, we need to make sure that our players are in a set environment where they are at their level. They're winning some battles, they're losing some battles, they're making some passes, they're missing some passes. And that's easy. That's easy. But we as coaches need to either move players up and down or create different drills or different tasks within our drills that 25% of all the time, players need to be at a level where they not are successful. They're 2 out of 10 times they're successful. It would be the tennis player winning 2 out of 10 points. Because what happens there is you start to look at the opponent. What does he or she doing that I can't handle? So you start learning from the better opponent by studying your opponent. And at the same time, we need to spend time where we're dominating, the low 25%, where we're winning 9 out of 10 points, because that means you're going to start playing around with different kind of strokes, and you're going to do things that the coach normally tell you not to do. And that's going to give you some experience or some techniques or skills that are going to be an asset when you go into tight and important games. So what's our role as coaches? I think I just spoke to Larry Huras here behind the stage before I went out. I think what Hockey Coach Vision is doing is great. I think it's so good that the coaches side and they want to share drills. I think that's really, really important. That's gonna, every time you get a new drill or you're watching someone else's practice, you're gonna, take some nuggets and implement that within your program. But never forget your role when it comes to drills. There is no one who remembers the math book, but everyone's remember the math teacher.